Hi, welcome back. All right, so today we are going to study the reproductive system. So we have the male, female, and we are not going to touch on the physiological portion, which is also very important, which is actually more important than the anatomy. But today we just touch on the anatomical portion. With the physiology, there are a lot of like functional change, particularly hormonal or the pregnancy, the fetal development, a lot of things. Um, but today we just focus on the anatomy, male and female. All right. So that's that. We have another course to talk about the physiological portion. Yeah. So just just let you know. All right. So let me share my screen. Share my screen here. Reproductive system. All right. So, reproductive system is a system again. Is a system so involve multiple organs. And overall, this system is doing one thing, one primary thing, which is to produce another human being, right? So that's its function to produce another human being. In order to do that, it has to have two primary things. One is to produce the gamete, that is a cell which contains only the half of your chromosome. So it's not the complete set. The chromosome, the complete set of the chromosome in any body, any part of your body, we call it somatic cells. Somatic cell. This cell two has two has a pair of 23 chromosomes. So you got 23 from your mom, 23 from your dad, and that merge, you have 23 pair of chromosomes. So total is 46 chromosomes in each cell. So that is the typical cell. For the sperm and the oocyte or the egg, it only has 23 chromosomes, not 23 pair. So you have the 23 here, your sperm, 23 here, your oocyte or your oocyte or your egg, depending on how you say it. So that is what you need. Then you merge these two, you generate a new human being, the beginning of new human being that has 23 pairs of chromosomes. So that's the key. That's one thing. The other thing is that this system needs to produce the hormone to regulate the body, so it's ready to produce another human being. So let's start by, so the primary organ for the reproductive system is called gonad, gonads. So in male, this gonads is in the testes or testicles, same thing, just different names. In female, it's ovaries. So this gonads has to perform that primary function for reproductive purpose, which is have the cell. Testes produce sperm, ovaries produce oocytes. These sperms and oocytes collectively called gametes. So gametes has half amount of the chromosome compared to your body cells. Yeah, so that's that. These gonads also need to produce the sex hormone. Sex hormone is a hormone. We have different kind of hormone in the body, but sex hormone is a hormone for reproductive purpose. In the male, basically build the body to be more male feature. In the female, to build the body to be more female feature. So that distinguish the the look or appearance of male versus female. Yeah. In the male sex hormone, the primary one is called testosterone. It comes from the testes. In female, it's estrogen and the progesterone, and these two come from the ovaries. So ovaries produce oocytes, it produce estrogen progesterone. Testes or testicles produce sperm, it also produce testosterone. So that's the male and the female. So basically a lot of quiz questions can come from here. What's the gametes in male? Is that sperm? What's the hormone in female? Male? Where does it from? Testes, ovaries? Yeah. What is gonads in male? Testes? What's gonad in female? Ovary? So a lot of quiz question can come from this side. So just give you the idea that the difference between gametes and somatic cells. So gametes right here only have 23 chromosomes. We call it N. N is the number. Number is 23. But in the somatic cell, that is our body cells, has 23 pairs of chromosomes. So we have not just N, we have 2N right here, 2N. Germ cells are the original cells, and it will give rise to gametes. And so it's the stem cell for gametes, basically. And so it has 2N because stem cell is not the gametes, it's the source of those gametes. The reason we bring this up is because in male, it keep on producing sperm. So the germ cells are the stem cell for the gametes. These stem cell in female is called oogonia. In female is called spermatogonia. Spermatogonia is a stem cell. It has a full set. It gives rise to sperm. Let me show you here. Here is the spermatogonia 2N. This one is in the testes. It gives rise to sperm. It keep on giving rise to sperm. So this one has 2N. This one is the source of sperm. We have the in female, so this is in the male. In female we have the oogonia. Oogonia is to give rise to egg oocyte. However, oogonia degrade away before the female before the baby female. Yeah, let's put it that way. So after become a baby female, the body does not contains any oogonia, meaning that each female, the number of the oocyte is going to get less and less. It's not going to get more. It's not going to generate more oocytes. So the amount is fixed and they only get less. But in the male, the sperm can keep on producing because sperm in the male, we still have the spermatogonia to produce that. So that's this three major type of the cell based on their chromosome amount. So here is the reproductive system in the male. So we mentioned the key gonads is testes or testicles. This is where you have the sperms production. The sperm production is called spermatogenesis, genesis. It also is a place to produce testosterone, the male sex hormone. Human has two testes or testicles. Same thing, female has two ovaries. They are not in the pelvic cavity, they are living outside of it. And so inside of this sac is called scrotum. Inside of this scrotum, and then it connect with the body. So sperm are produced in the testicles, and then sperm need to, after the maturation, sperm will get ejected into during the sex process or activity. Sperm will get ejected into the female's body through urethra. So we talk about this one in our urinary system. So the pathway, the passage of the sperm involve testicles, then going into the epidym, epi, epididymis, epididymis, then enter into this tube. This tube is called vas deferens. Then enter into try and enter into the abdominal, then enter into the pelvic cavity. Basically, enter into the pelvic cavity. And then when it enter, it will go in and go around the bladder, then going to the back. So kind of like going around and then going into the back, the posterior portion of the bladder. Then going to the bladder, it will meet together. Before they meet together, they go through some like glands. It's called seminal seminal glands. Here, seminal vesicles are seminal vesicles. And then seminal vesicles will provide some fluid, provide some support for the sperm. Sperm will then, these two tube will enter together into into one, into the urethra, and then it will pass through another gland. This gland is called prostate. Prostate will provide additional support, energy, nutrients to the sperm. And the sperm will go through the urethra and then eject into the female body, or get eject out. Let's put it that way, eject out. So that's the key passage for the sperm. So you need to know this passage. You need to know those sequence. That's a male. If we look at the testes or testicles, what do we see? We see inside of these testes, it contains many tube. So this is tube. This tube has a name. It's called seminiferous tube. Seminiferous tubule. So this seminiferous tubule is a cradle of the sperm. So sperm come from the immature sperm, come from the spermatogonia to become a true sperm. So this is a cradle for that development of the sperm. So in the seminiferous tubule, if we just cut it cross right here, we can see it's right here. So in the seminiferous tubule, you can see that you have the luminal side, you have the basolateral side, and So in the luminal side, you can see that it has circular of cells. In the central lumen, it doesn't really have too much of cell, but in the surrounding, you have many cells. So in the surrounding, so that basically has surrounding and there's a central, right? So in the surrounding, you have two sets of the cell. The very bottom of it, or the very outer part of this ring right here, just next to the basement membrane of this seminiferous tubule, you have a layer of the cell. This layer of the cells are stem cells for sperm. It's called spermatogonia. This is the one to give rise to sperm, just like here. Show here. Spermatogonia. They give rise to sperm. They are, where are they? They are in the basement layer right here of the seminephron tubule. So when they produce sperm will move from this basement layer into the lumen. So it has to pass through a lot of these. These are not sperm. These are called Sertoli cells. So that's the second set of cells. Sertoli cells are the cells to transform sperm from immature sperm that doesn't really have this tail yet to become a true sperm. So let me show you this one again. So this is the spermatogonia. It gave rise to primary spermatocytes, secondary spermatocyte, spermatid sperm. So you can see that this one required several processes to become sperm. And these processes are provided by Sertoli. Between Sertoli has tight junction. So here is the spermatogonia produced sperm. They do not only have morphological change, they also translocate from the basement membrane location into the lumen right here. So through that translocation, they need to pass through the tight junction between two Sertoli. So Sertoli's function is to facilitate this transformation. Yeah. So kind of like, you have the team to train this sperm from immature one to mature one. And once it's mature, they enter into the lumen and ready to get ejected. Yeah. So this is the transformation and the translocation process. So that's the second set of the sperm cell. And the final set is right here inside of the lumen. That's the mature sperm. So that's that. We also have some cells that's between the seminiferous tubule. That's called Leydig cell. Here it called interstitial cell. It's not a good terminology because interstitial means like between tissues. It's better to call it Leydig cell. So we have this Sertoli to support the sperm development. The other one is Leydig, just lay outside. Leydig cells. So they have different functions. Sertoli is to support sperm. Leydig, what's the function? They basically is function to produce testosterone. Yeah. So that's that. So here is summarize what we have in the testes. So quick question, what are the cells in the testes? So you have the sperm related inside of the seminephron tubule. You have sperm related, that's spermatogonia. And then you have those cells from primary sperm metacytes into the sperm cells. So that's sperm related. The process is called spermatogenesis. You also have the supporting cell that's called Sertoli. So it's very easy to remember the terminology. Support Sertoli. Between the tubule, you have the Leydig cell. The function of that is to produce testosterone. So which cells in the testes produce testosterone? That's Leydig cells. So here is the histology. We can see here is the border of the seminephron tubule. So you can see some outer portion, spermatogonia, and then inside you have the sperm, and between you have the Sertoli cells, and the intertubule you have the Leydig cell. Intertubule you have the Leydig cell right here, Leydig cell. Yeah. So spermatogenesis, we mentioned about that. So that's the male, all right? Let's take a break, and then we will continue to talk about female.